So every year in the NHL, you have teams that surprise you, and this is a reoccurring thing that we discussed on the channel before. 8 months ago, we discussed 5 teams that surprised me and other people last season. However, we're going to go more in depth with that. Today, we're going to look at a team that, in my opinion, was still rebuilding. I thought they had another year left of the rebuild, and then they were going to start developing their prospects and getting good. Today, we're going to look at a team from California, the Anaheim Ducks. Let's take a look.
Had no need to fight tonight.
So the Anaheim Ducks have been very good, surprisingly, in the Pacific Division. In my Pacific Division predictions, which sadly never got posted to YouTube, I predicted the Anaheim Ducks to finish 7th overall in their coming division this season. Mostly because I thought they were not ready and they still need to develop some of their prospects and get a bigger pool. However, like in many different instances on the channel, I was wrong. So far, they played 16 games. They are 9-4-3 for 2nd overall in the Pacific Division. The only team that is above them is the high-flying Edmonton Oilers. And through their last games, they are on a 7-game win streak, and the only losses they've suffered are overtime and shootout losses, which is crazy. Sure, there are some weak teams in the bunch, like Montreal, Arizona, Vancouver has been pretty rough lately. They're still playing very dominant against these teams. Now, they suffered a 4-3 loss to the Buffalo Sabres in overtime, and they suffered a 5-4 loss to the Vegas Golden Knights in a shootout. Now, the Vegas one I could kind of get, but Buffalo, really? Then they faced off against the Montreal Canadiens. They won 4-2. Then they faced off against the New Jersey Devils, and they won 4-0. Very dominant game. Then they faced off against the Arizona Coyotes, which, I mean, they're a weaker team. They won 3-1. Then they faced off against the St. Louis Blues, a much better and a much tougher team, and they beat them out 4-1, which is pretty impressive. And then they played the Vancouver Canucks and beat them 3-2. That's the first time they would play them. Then they beat the Seattle Kraken 7-4, which we then saw the fans swap teams midway through the game. I could say that's a first. And then they also faced off against the Vancouver Canucks again and won 5-1. So this team is facing a lot of bad teams, but still some good teams in the mix as well. That being said, let's move on to the forwards leading the charge. We have 3 forwards that we're going to discuss here who have been very surprising as of late. The most surprising one, obviously, is Troy Terry. Troy Terry has really put up some outstanding stats so far this season with 15 games played, 11 goals, 9 assists for 20 points. When you look at his career stats, that is crazy. And, you know, he's given a chance, and he really stepped up to the plate and has really played well with it. He was named 3rd star of the week last week behind Bruins defenseman Charlie McAvoy and Capitals forward Alexander Ovechkin. Some pretty big company there. The next 2 players are players that I've kind of spoken badly about in the past on this YouTube channel, and they have both reluctantly proved me wrong. The first one, of all people, is the captain, Ryan Getzlaf. Now, you see, the thing is with Ryan Getzlaf, he had a lot of rumors in the offseason. Rumors of going to the Kraken, rumors of signing with another team of free agency, but it all came back together when he re-signed with the Anaheim Ducks. Can't get rid of him. And with Getzlaf this season, it's like we traveled back in time. He's played 16 games. He hasn't really scored many goals, 1 goal, but he has 16 assists for 17 points. He is only 1 point away from 1,000. He's still got it, and it's hella impressive what he's done with the Ducks so far this season. And, you know, the amazing part is we're less than 20 games in, and they've done this much. I am super impressed with how he's done. So the final player I want to talk about here in the forwards leading the charge is Adam Henrique. He was rumored to be moved out of Anaheim a lot of times, but he has not. And he's really put up the points to make you think, is he back? Now, this season with the Anaheim Ducks, he played 16 games, had 6 goals, 7 assists for 13 points. Impressive, because, you know, when he was really based off early in his career, he was really based off as a goal scorer. Not really a Rocket Richard winner, but a guy who could put up probably like 25 to 30 goals a season, which, I mean, is pretty impressive for a player like him. And then he really fell off with it, but now he's come back and kind of put up the goals early. We'll see where it goes. Next off here, we're going to move into the blue line X Factors. I'm going to look at 2 defensemen who've really been solid so far for the Anaheim Ducks this season. Let's just say Jamie Drysdale is not one of them. The first player I'm going to discuss is Kevin Shattenkirk, somebody who came from the defending Stanley Cup champions, the Tampa Bay Lightning, last offseason. Wasn't that good, but now he's really put up some solid defensive numbers. He has played 16 games so far this season, has 4 goals, 9 assists for 13 points. Pretty impressive for a defenseman like him. And, you know, since his stats with the Rangers, he really hasn't put up numbers like that this early. So seeing that makes me very optimistic. Now, the other defenseman I want to talk about is Cam Fowler, arguably the best defenseman on the Ducks. He's played 16 games, has 2 goals, 10 assists for 12 points. Solid defenseman, really passing the puck to guys like Troy Terry, Trevor Zegras, Adam Henrique, Ryan Getzlaf, really racking up the points on the blue line. And he isn't looking that bad defensively either. And finally, moving on to the backbone. Who else am I going to put on it besides goaltender John Gibson? There have been rumors of John Gibson leaving Anaheim for a long time, going for a team like the Edmonton Oilers. I'm not going to say those rumors have completely died yet, but it hasn't bothered Gibson at all. So far this season, John Gibson has played 12 games, has 8 wins, 2 losses, and 2 overtime/shootouts. He has a 2.37 goals against average and a .929 save percentage. Wow. Even when the Ducks were struggling, Gibson still put up very solid defensive numbers. And he's really been that backbone of that team for a very long time. Now, referring to those rumors again, I'm not going to say that they have completely died out. They're still on the table. But right now, Gibson's still looking pretty damn good. Now, moving on to their oncoming games. They have some big competition coming up. They play the Washington Capitals, then they play the Carolina Hurricanes. That is the real contest. Then they play the Nashville Predators, then they play the Colorado Avalanche, and then maybe, if more games get postponed, they play the Ottawa Senators. The more impressive thing I want to go in depth with is how a bunch of young guys led by a pretty old captain are shaking up the NHL right now. And it's very, very impressive how they've done so, and I hope it keeps going. Now, do I think this is going to decline? Probably. I still look at this team and don't see a lot of big-name players there yet. People still need to develop. And not everything's sunshine and rainbows here. Forward Max Comtois has really been struggling with the Anaheim Ducks. He has only 1 point in 13 games. But overall, this team has been very exciting, with guys like Troy Terry and Ryan Getzlaf leading the charge. You have Fowler and Shattenkirk on the X Factors. And then you have Gibson on the backbone with rising guys like Trevor Zegras, Jamie Drysdale, and Mason McTavish. You can't help but like this team. Anyways, that'll be it for me. Thank y'all for watching. If you guys want to go check out some more Anaheim Ducks videos, I will put a card right here, right now, with the full playlist of all Anaheim Ducks videos made in the history of this channel. Thank y'all for watching. If you guys could subscribe, I really would appreciate it. Leave a like, drop a comment on what you think is so exciting about this Ducks team. Anyways, that's it for me, and I will see you guys in the next video. Adios.